nature, in the water, in the stones, in the woods, in the plants, and in the animals. And they would have healers that actually were very connected to spirit. So whenever someone was sick in the village, the healer would first want to connect to nature, connect with the gods or the spirits of nature. And he would use the Sagayan dance to get into almost communion or relationship with the spirit, so that he would have strength to be able to heal the sick person. And how the metaphor or the symbol that is used for the Sagayan dance is that the healer goes into battle on behalf of the sick person to fight the disease or the illness. So think about that when you see this beautiful and powerful dance called Sagayan by our wonderful dancer, Patrick. Continue stretching the other three fingers. If you do that, it almost looks like a bird. It looks like a bird of paradise, as a matter of fact. So what we're going to do is we're going to make those birds fly. So go ahead and rotate your wrists. You could make those birds as if it's a story. You could have them chasing each other. You could have them going away, and you could have them joining together. And if you are continuing with this bird flying and just sort of like release the fingers a little bit and continue that flow all the way through your elbows and into your shoulders, well, now you have another nature element. You now have water. You have the ocean wave. And the ocean wave, the thing about water is that it can have all kinds of different personalities. So if you took water, or your arms actually, and you put it in front of you, that same kind of movement, now the water becomes a waterfall. So that waterfall would start at the top of the mountain and go all the way down. Let's do that one more time. Up, starting up at the mountain, and the waterfall goes down. And the fourth movement I'm going to teach you is another water feature. Well, actually, it's not a water feature. It is what happens when water meets sun. And what happens at that point is that you get a beautiful thing called a rainbow. So we're going to pretend to be rainbows right now. Going back to stretching. So we are going to be stretching up. And now we're going to be going over to our side, stretching up, and then going to the other side. Let's make that a little bit fancier by sort of like twinkling our fingers a little bit. So let's go ahead and do the rainbow and follow me. So you might have thought that you were just mimicking some movements that I was doing that seemed a lot like nature, but you were already learning some basic movements of the beautiful dance called pamalay. In the southern Philippines, this is considered a classic dance, and probably the most important dance of the southern Philippines, with more movements, individual movements, than any other dance in the Philippines. And when I say classic dance, what I mean is that how the Filipinos think of this dance, they feel it's on the same category to them as ballet. A very classic dance that is very stately, that is very elegant, very powerful. And also improvisational though. So you will notice that even though there are ways that one should be very stately and elegant, very grounded, you're not hunched over, you are never looking directly at the camera, say, but looking sort of slightly down. You also, the dancer uses a lot of hyperextensions. They really love to, in Mindanao and the southern Philippines, sort of see almost what we would call double jointedness in the fingers, arms, and elbows. So these are the aesthetics, or what is considered pretty and beautiful to the Tausug people in particular of the Sulu archipelago. And what else can I say about this really lovely dance? It's also slow. The faster the music is, the slower the movements are. Because believe it or not, to do hyperextended movements very slow is very hard. And the people in the community really appreciate that. They understand all of the hard work that the dancer is putting into this dance. So now, coming back, our wonderful duet is Marcella doing the pamalay dance, and Daniel joining her as well. to connect with the spirits and to create a beautiful dance by almost spontaneous. And it's also a very simple, music piece that you could learn right away. So as Daniel said earlier today, there is a timekeeper called the Babandil. The Babandil keeps that basic tempo, or like keeps us all straight so that we're in the pocket and we're all playing at the right speed. So Pamalay has a very, Pito of Pamalay has a very simple, rhythm that you can play with us. And I would love it if you could all clap with us while we do this song. And so I almost would say that. Two album players, Frank and Patrick, playing that same beat that I was clapping and that Daniel was playing. We're going to keep it steady. I'm going to play the drum, and Manny's going to play the kulitan. We're just doing a very short version of Ito of Pamalay so you can feel the music in your bones. Then we're going to stop, and we're going to go and bring dance back into it. So let's give our two dancers a break while we play Ito of Pamalay. As we do Pamalay. Thank you very much. Not an elementary school. It was our pleasure. Hopefully next year we will be in your school in person though, instead of virtually from so far away. I'd like to introduce you to the members of the ensemble before we say goodbye. We have all the way to my right, Marcela Pablos-Clark.
Thank you.
And next to her, we have Daniel Girai, our other dancer. On Kulitham, we have Manny Dragon. My two album players, we have Frank Holder behind me. And my album player and dancer, and wonderful Sagayan dancer, we have Patrick Tamayo. My name is Caroline Kabadi. We are Kultura Kapwa from San Francisco, and it has been our pleasure to be with you this afternoon. Thank you. Yes.
And we're up.
Okay, Marielle, you're on mute?
Yeah.
Okay, can you check it with Jason, see if that was okay?
Oh, good job. Woo! That's good. Something they could use.
The board.
That was a true. Oh, good. Yeah.
We should also think about coordinating movies.
He's on.
Think about that in the future.
So then you guys all need to ask him if it's okay, and that we're just gonna assume that he's going to
Okay.
and then work with
Are we doing one more? Are we doing one more?
Yeah, you know, that's something to have that board on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that one was all over the way.
I'll take, oh, shit, oh, yeah.
I'm like, they know all our secrets now.
I know, plus all that mess is over there, so we need to like change that a little bit.
How long, did we go for 45 minutes? Was it about 45?
It was
Exactly 45.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we stretched out a lot of stuff.
All right. Oh, God, did the kids see me? Oh.
Did you?
Yeah, it went okay. You saw me hit a little bit.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So-
So, tell Jason, we'll start again without,
Okay.
They're logged into the school Zoom or something, because how did they only have one person on?
What did you guys say?
That's the thing we see any.
Oh, you didn't see them?
Yes.
I mean, we're pretty much.
Was she seeing them?
Okay.
No?
No, they're in, but they want all the kids to be seen.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, right, privacy.
Yeah, kids.
That makes sense.
One more, guys. One more.
They need one per, they're holding all that stuff, have their names.
Oh.
Well, the thing is, you want to start playing it, because it's just like a waiting picture anyway. So make sure you're on mute for now.
So you guys, just a warning, instead of like,
One o'clock?
gentlemen, just a warning, and actually all of you guys that, can you get around? So what they're gonna do, just to make it easy, so that they don't like lose connection, is they're gonna
Yeah, I
actually
used to
continue
dance like
streaming
when I was a
right now.
kid.
So as long as we're on mute, they're just showing our, our little slide, right, so it's no big deal. But just sort of be aware of that, so don't, and let's not show the camera anywhere, but at 1 o'clock.
So I moved that over there because it looked kind of messy, I mean, as far as when.
No, absolutely. I
After
wish
the
there was a cloth that I could see, because, when I'm playing the drum on the last song, I don't know that it's totally. So I was like, yes, but we actually were fine, so I'll call places again at about 5 till, but to take a break, that was like intense. That was actually like, we took it all the way to 45. I couldn't believe it.
What age group is that?
I just know that in general they're K through 5, so we were, at one point we were K through 3, and at one point we were 4 and 5, okay, 5 through 6, and I don't know when that's like. Okay, great job, you guys.
when we're doing Zoom stuff, it's like, can you hear me? And they go, yeah. But over here, it's like, can you hear me? Maybe. And here's the thing, Jason can hear me, but I don't know the kids,
Yeah, that was interesting how they set that up. So I guess everyone's logging into the school's website.
Yeah, this is true life stream.
Yeah.
So what's weird is that this couldn't quite work, in my opinion, unless you guys were doing what we were doing, because it would just be like this real boring, static
Yeah.
thing. But they're doing something really pro on there. So if you notice that it's just live, if they're live streaming right there, that's a trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, the technology they're using, but it's also very